Bulls Nation, today is going to be a very upsetting video, I think, for many people, and it's going to be reacting to the recent news that's happened to one of our players and how long he could potentially be out for due to an injury. And again, you never like to make videos like this, and you always hope that your players, every player in terms of the NBA, doesn't get injured, doesn't miss a lot of time. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. This is the world that we walk in every single day, and unfortunately, things happen for whatever reason, whatever the case may be. And today we're going to be discussing Coby White. We're going to be discussing his injury and what that could mean for the Chicago Bulls in the future. So without further ado, let's talk about Coby White. Let's do it in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got another Chicago Bulls related video, and this one is going to be towards Coby White. Of course, if you haven't heard of the news recently, I believe it was a little bit over 10 to 12 hours ago, Coby White suffered a shoulder injury, I believe, that is going to take him out for 4 months. And in the end, that is devastating news for the Chicago Bulls and what we're trying to achieve, and also very devastating for Coby White. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Coby White. And again, hopefully everything will go all right with him in terms of the future, and hopefully he can get over this injury. Again, I'm not someone that wants to talk about injuries. I think it's a very somber note to discuss. It's always a negative. There's no positive in an injury, and unfortunately, especially towards the Chicago Bulls, we've been talking about injuries for years now, and unfortunately we just can't seem to escape that phase of the Chicago Bulls where we have significant injuries to some of our players, young players, old players, doesn't really matter. There's always injuries in terms of the Chicago Bulls, and unfortunately Coby White is the latest victim of that, suffering a shoulder injury due to basketball activities. Has to miss 4 months, which of course, if you don't know, 4 months basically is right at the start of the season, which means he could potentially miss some at the start of the season. And this is very bad news for Coby White in terms of what he could be in terms of the next season, and also throughout the majority. I think it's just really bad news overall. Obviously, the injury side of things is the main thing. Of course, the shoulder injury. Shoulder injuries are one of the worst injuries you could possibly have in terms of the NBA and in terms of your body. Shoulder injuries, leg injuries, they're all really hard to recover from, and that's something that, again, very, very, very upsetting to hear. But again, the amount of time that he's missing is 4 months. He's going to be missing a lot of his summertime break. He's going to be missing a lot of that stage where he's trying to develop his game and get better. Again, you use the summer to work on your game. Coby White's not going to have a lot of time to do that anymore. Again, he's going to miss a lot of time. He's going to potentially miss the summer league if he was allowed to play in it. He's going to miss some of the preseason if he was allowed to play in it. And he could potentially miss some of this regular season as well. So this is a very bad injury for Coby White. 4 months is a long time, and it could potentially be more than 4 months, which is something we need to keep our eyes on if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. And it's very upsetting because Coby White has always been a player that's been very durable for us. I think since his debut in the Chicago Bulls, I don't think he's missed a game. I'm not really sure, let me know. Maybe he's missed a game here or there, but for the majority, Coby White has not really missed a lot of games for us. He's been a very durable player, and this kind of hits us in the face now that we've seen another injury to a very young player that we've seen over recent times. We've seen with Wendell Carter when he was on this team, the amount of injuries that he managed to consume just within 3 years was a lot for him. Same with Larry Marketing, who's in his 4th year and has been injured every year. It's a lot for him. And obviously you see players like Zach LaVine that hasn't been injured for a long time, but again has had that devastating injury happen to him before. It's happened to a lot of our players, and we just can't seem to escape that side of the game. We can't seem to escape that negative energy. We can't seem to escape the injuries, the injury proneness of some of our players, and it's very, very upsetting. And the message here is to get well to Coby White. Again, health always comes first. The NBA season, again, if he misses it, that's something that I'm okay with. The fact that it's a human being that we're talking about here, and I think his health and his well-being needs to come first, and he needs to get better before we even discuss basketball in terms of Coby White. But it's very upsetting to see something like that happen to him, who's been working so hard, who's changed and transformed the way that he's played over the course of the year. And it's very upsetting, and I can only talk about it on a basketball level because I don't know him personally. But again, I hope he's okay. I hope everything's going to be all right with him. I hope he can recover from a shoulder injury, ready to go for next season. I hope this doesn't affect the way that he plays in the future, and I hope all these things happen for Coby White. But again, I think the thoughts and prayers of the Bulls fans are with him. In the end, we still have to, the show must go on in many ways. If Coby White is going to miss some of the regular season, then we need that next man up mentality very early in the regular season. And we're going to have to acquire some talent in free agency and all of these things. And that's part of the game. That's part of the show must go on, and that will go on. And hopefully it will do very well without Coby White in the lineup until he's ready to come back. But in terms of Coby White, the message that I have now is just remain healthy, or try to stay a little bit more healthy now despite this injury. Get well as soon as possible. Don't really rush anything. Don't need to rush to come back. Take your time. Make sure everything's in order before you come back, and make sure that you have the right people around you in this time. Again, I know Coby White from his social media standpoint and from everything that I kind of have a feeling about him, that he has really close people that will be with him to support him. He has those close people, and I think he'll be just fine. But again, as a Bulls perspective and from all Bulls fans, get well soon, Coby White. It sucks that it's happened. I know many people are not going to be very happy. I know many people are going to be frustrated because, again, it's an injury to a young player that we've seen a lot over the course of many years. But hopefully this is just a minor setback in what could be a fabulous career for Coby White. And again, this isn't the end of him by far. I think this will only, in the end, it will just hold him back for a little bit, and then he'll come back, and hopefully he'll come back stronger than he can ever possibly imagine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. This is not the video I wanted to make today. I had videos already planned for today, some positive videos as well, but unfortunately, things that get in the way of that, and Coby White's injury has to take priority. Again, it sucks that it's happened, and when I heard the news, I was very upset. But it is what it is. We're going to have to take one step at a time here, and we're going to have to discuss all the positives and the negatives. Again, don't hide away from negative things, because in the end, those negative things will eventually make the positives of what we go through 10 times better to support. And yeah, stick with the Chicago Bulls, stick with Coby White, and let's see what can happen in the long term. Take care, and peace.